So coming up in this video, I go on my biggest trip of the year so far, all the way up to Scotland. I focus most of my time in the Cairngorms area, starting with the Cairngorms mountain, in hope of ptarmigan and dotterel. I then head to the Highland pine forests in search of Scottish crossbills. I look through the mountains for golden eagles. While I'm in the area, I also try and twitch some rarities in red-breasted flycatcher and white-winged scoter. And I can honestly say that this has been one of the best, if not the best trip I've ever had in Britain. So we're finally in Scotland now and very excited. So I thought, how fitting, we're going to celebrate with some Scottish music, which is what we're listening to now. So we're now leaving Edinburgh and we're going to a small loch just north of the city to try and look for a bird that is actually quite surprising I don't have on my year list already. Pink-footed goose. So the first stop is here at Kinghorn Loch. I'm really excited to be bird watching again, and supposedly there's been one pink-footed goose seen here. Quite an unusual time of year for pink-footed goose, but as I need it for the list, I thought I'd come and check it out. Well, the pink-footed goose wasn't very hard to find. It's just in here with all these greylag or feral greylag geese. Now, there are pink-footed goose here in the winter, and there's quite a lot of them. So this could be, I don't know, like an overstay, or perhaps it's injured or something, or I don't know, it could be because it's associating with the feral greylag goose. It could also be feral as well. So yeah, I'm not quite sure of this one. Be interested to know. Let me know in the comments what you think of the status of this bird. But I think, given the fact there are so many, up to 400 pink-footed geese here in winter, that you know, it could be good. It's definitely not ringed, and I've just seen it flap its wings as well, so it's got no clipped feathers on the wings either. So that's a pink-footed goose seen. A little bit of a dodgy one, but I'm quite interested to see tree sparrow here, which it sort of says on eBird is the case. So I'm not quite sure where they are, so we're going to have a little walk around and see if we can find those. I don't want to spend too much time here because the bird we're going for after this would be a world lifer for me. There's a few gorgeous great crested grebe chicks here, which are often referred to as humbugs because they've got that kind of black and white stripy appearance, which is cool, a bit like the sweets. But yeah, we've been here for a little while. I haven't quite got time to walk around here in depth. I can't hear any sparrows, so we're going to have to move on. It's not a year tick for me, but yeah, tree sparrow would be a really cool bird if we were able to get it. Give it 5 minutes. Well, just as we're about to leave and give up on the tree sparrow, one has just very briefly appeared, which is really cool. It's a lifer for my wife, and only the third time I've seen tree sparrow this year, and the first time I've ever seen one in Scotland. So yeah, really pleased with that bird. Fantastic. But now we're going on for a really big challenge. We're going for an American duck that's been hanging around for quite a few days. Unfortunately, it's not been seen for the last 2 days, but I think it's been here over a month, so it'd be very unlucky for it not to be around. It is a sea duck, it could be quite far out. It's white-winged scoter, and this would be a world lifer for me. Right, so I'm here in a place called Kirkcaldy. Now this is where this bird has been hanging around for quite some time. Earlier on in the year there were actually about 4 species of scoter here, which is absolutely incredible, and 3 of them at the time would have been lifers. But I'm going to have a quick look around here and see if I can find this white-winged scoter. So I've just done an initial scan of the first spot, and there are some eider ducks hanging around a little bit further towards a town. Now supposedly the white-winged scoter's been hanging out with eider ducks, so we're going to try and drive a little bit closer and see if we can get a better look at them. We got a little bit closer to some of the eider ducks now, They're just sitting on the sea wall, but unfortunately there is no scoter in amongst them. However, there's still quite a few that we can't see, so I'm going to keep moving and changing angle to see if that helps us. So I'm going to move again, or we're going to move again. Again, the angle's not perfect. There's still more ducks that you can't see, so we're moving the car once more to see if we can get yet another angle on this group of eider ducks. So we are in a little bit of a rush now. We've tried this spot and no sign of the white-winged scoter here. There has been quite a few eiders out though. So we're going to just try one more spot south of here to see if there's something there, and then we have to go. So we've now come back to Kinghorn and we're really against the clock, so this is our last chance at white-winged scoter today. So at the moment I can't see many ducks at all, but we have seen some puffin really far out, which is the first time my wife Sarah's ever seen puffin. There was an Arctic skewer chasing some terns. There's guillemots, there's razorbills, there's fulmars, there's common terns. There's one eider duck, it's the only duck I've seen, and it's not with a white-winged scoter. Well, unfortunately for us, there's no white-winged scoter that we can find, and we are massively behind schedule, so we're having to head off. Never know, we might come back here on this trip, but unsure at the moment. We'll wait and see if it's reported again. But tomorrow will hopefully be an exciting day because we're going to the Cairngorms. Only little niggle is the weather is turning, and if we're going up into the Highlands of the Cairngorms, then visibility could be quite poor. So fingers crossed that doesn't cause any more stumbling blocks. So first day in the Cairngorms itself, and we've stopped at a forested area hoping for crested tit and maybe, if we can identify them somehow, Scottish crossbill. Had heard some crossbills as soon as we got out of the car, so we'll try and get some audio recordings of those for sonograms and really hope for crested tit. So far the main birds that we've been seeing and hearing are willow warblers. There's actually loads of them, which is amazing. Haven't heard too many crossbills since we got out of the car, but and certainly none close enough to get any recordings of. But yeah, we'll keep looking. So we've been here at our first spot for about half an hour. Still loads of willow warblers, lots of coal tit, some blue tit, and a few other birds. None of our targets yet, but we'll keep trying. So a large part of this trip has been built on the hope of seeing ptarmigan and dotterel, which would be wildlifers for me. And the problem that we've got is we need to go up to Cairngorm Mountain, and we need the visibility to be good. Unfortunately, looking at the mountains now, it looks really misty, so we might not be able to see anything. Sorry, I had to stop then. Thought we had a crested tit, but we don't think it is anymore. But yeah, as I was saying, a lot of this relies on the weather clearing, and this is the best day of weather that we've got here. So fingers crossed we can see something at the top of the mountain. Otherwise those birds are going to be extremely difficult or even impossible to see. So just up here in the trees, I've got a world lifer, one of the birds I was most hoping to see on this trip, yes. Crested tit, and we've got it within only about 45 minutes of our day, which is fantastic. So these crested tits, a family of them, I saw the adult feeding the young, which I think I got on video, just right up here in front of us. They were calling, and to get this close to a world lifer nowadays in Britain doesn't happen very often, so I'm definitely going to relish this moment. Absolutely fantastic. What a bird. So an absolutely incredible start to the Cairngorm Mountains trip. So close to crested tit. I still can't believe how close we were. To see it feeding its young and to hear it calling as well is just something I'll never forget. But our next stop now, we're going to Cairngorm Mountain to hopefully get the vernacular up. And this is where we're really hoping that the weather is kind to us. It says it's about 50% precipitation when I looked at the forecast yesterday. So yeah, hopefully we can see something, and hopefully we can even get up there. So at the base of the Cairngorm mountains. We're going to get the funicular up shortly. The weather at the moment is looking okay, but it's got to hold on for the first funicular up is at 10 o'clock and it's 10 past 9, so we need this weather to hold as is. Fingers crossed it does that. So we're on the funicular now, and so far it's sunny, which is a good sign, although we haven't added any birds yet. So this, just on top of the roof here, that way, is a snow bunting. And it's singing, which is amazing stuff. I've never seen them in this plumage before, so this is a real cool sighting for me. Such a pretty little bunting. So it's not a bird, but we have just seen a mountain hare. This is the first mountain hare I've ever seen, which is cool. Fantastic little thing. You can just see its head over the rocks. So I've just heard a few croaks, and then flying, I've seen my first ever rock ptarmigan. This is a world lifer for me, again like the crested tit, and I'm absolutely over the moon. That's 2 of my targets on this trip seen already. We've only been out a couple of hours. So we were able to see the ptarmigan again, actually saw it on the ground. It was a little bit quick for getting a video, unfortunately, but there's still a lot of time. I have found a bit more information about the dotterel. That sounds like it's going to be really tough at this time of year, because the females, which are the more brightly coloured ones, and it's the males that actually look after the eggs and chicks, unlike most species. It sounds like the females have actually largely disappeared, and we're left with the males, and they might be sitting on their eggs at the moment, so they might be quite hard to spot, even the ones that are here. So yeah, that's going to be a tricky one, but really pleased with that ptarmigan. That's an amazing bird. Well, a bit hot and tired, but we are now at the top by the weather station. So here we've got some good views that we'll have a little look through, see if we can find a dotterel. So we've been up here for a little while now. We're really struggling on the dotterel, but what's fantastic is we've just seen a male ring ouzel, which is another year tick for me. Brilliant bird, one of the best views I've ever had of ring ouzel. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. What a bird. So we've just popped in to warm up with a coffee. We're heading out again. Still really surprised that the weather has been fantastic today, given all the fears that we wouldn't be able to see anything because of cloud cover. But yeah, we're gonna pop out for another half an hour, see if we can get anything new for our list. But either way, we've done really well today, and I'm thrilled with the birds that we have seen. Well, getting close to the end of day 1 here in the Cairngorms, and what a day it's been. Unfortunately the dotterel looks like it's eluded me again, but hopefully there'll be some passing through the south of England in migration in autumn. Looking forward to tomorrow and see what that brings. So just at the side of the road, literally right next to the car, we've just seen a red grouse with chicks. It's incredible. I've never seen female red grouse before, and I've never seen chicks either. That was just amazing, and it's just so close. It was unbelievable. Really, really amazing find. So day 2 in the Cairngorms National Park, and we're going out for a bird that is very difficult to identify, and yeah, it's going to be really tricky to find. Scottish crossbill. Now, there's been a lot of talk about Scottish crossbill over recent years and the genetic differences with common crossbill. The best way, as far as I can tell from the research that I've done in identifying it, is to try and get a sound recording. There are some visual differences, but there is some overlap between them. So I'm just interested to see if we can find something in the region of Scottish crossbill and then do some further research. If we do see anything, I'll try and get some photos and some audio recordings. Just a quick note on one of the birds I saw yesterday as well. What we thought was a red grouse, we're now thinking it's much more likely to be a female black grouse. They do look relatively similar. It's not a bird I was super familiar with because I've only ever seen them a couple of times before. yeah, just a little note on that bird. So essentially our plan at the moment is to try and find some crossbills and see if we can get a sound recording. Now, not just any sound recording. I believe that the best way to identify Scottish crossbill from other crossbills is to try and get a sound recording of the flight call, not the excitement call. Or at least that's what I've been told. So correct me in the comments if you've got any other ideas, but at the moment we can't find any crossbills. So we have just had crossbills. They look very big-headed and large-billed. They are juveniles. Haven't got a photo or a call recording, so don't think we can claim that. But we think we've had Scottish crossbill. So this is something I haven't seen before. There's a snipe on top of a fence post. I don't know whether anyone else has seen that, but it's not something I've ever witnessed. So just out here we've got buzzard, obviously interested in the common gull's nest, but they're doing everything they can to defend it. The lapwings are joining in too, and the black-headed gulls. Yeah, it's a bit of a riot out there. The buzzard's trying its best, but there's a lot of defence from the gulls. So now we're going to try Abernethy to see if we can get some more crossbills. About 90% sure that the one that we did see was Scottish crossbill, but so it'd be really nice if we can see some better views and maybe even get a sound recording for confirmation. So we're here at Abernethy Forest. It's actually the largest fragment of pine forest in Britain, which is a cool place. This is another spot where we're looking for Scottish crossbill, and this is a place where supposedly there has been past sightings of parrot crossbill, another bird to just make life difficult that could all get lumped in with the same species as Scottish and common, where it's better to try and get flight calls and sonograms to ID. But anyway, given the fact that parrot crossbill has been sighted here and reliably recorded here, I thought it was worth a shot, even if it's just a quick stop and a little hit and hope. And of course, you never know what else you might find here. So we had no luck with any crossbills or any definite crossbills at that previous site, so we've come back to Aulnahatnick because this is where we've had most of our crossbills today, and while we've only seen a few fleeting views of them and heard a few, it feels like this place had the most potential. So let's try one more time. So I've just had another sighting of a crossbill, a male crossbill this time, not a juvenile, but it was through the trees and it only landed for a second. So I didn't really get anything on the bill, definitely a crossbill, but yeah, we need more than that if we're going to ID this thing. So we now found 3 birds, 3 crossbills flying around. There's 2 juveniles, but there is an adult that I haven't had a good look at. We're trying to find them now. The adult would probably give us the biggest indications of the diagnostics of a Scottish crossbill over a young bird. I've only seen the 2 young birds. They keep flying above our heads and keep moving. Oh, hang on. So we have got some... Oh, wow. Well, that's definitely been an exciting few moments, just hearing and seeing Scottish crossbill, or probable Scottish crossbills, of course. We've got no sound recordings, so just the visual footage that I'll put up on the screen again. But Yeah, we're in Scottish Crossbill area, and there's every chance that these could be Scottish Crossbills. Well, I think we're going to move on very shortly. That's probably our best effort at Scottish Crossbill, and we've certainly put in the hours. Still didn't get any sound recordings, but to get visuals of probable Scottish Crossbills I think is great. Let me know in the comments if you have any views on whether these are common crossbills or Scottish Crossbills or parrot crossbills, because I'm not an expert. But yeah, we're going to move on very shortly to another spot where we're going to look for a bird that is probably the most iconic bird in Scotland. Let's hope we can find it. So this is the spot that I've been waiting to come to all trip. This is where the iconic golden eagle has been seen, or is sometimes seen. I'm not going to mention exactly where the spot is because it's a sensitive bird, but we're here on site now. It's a bit windy, it's the afternoon. We've done really well today, seeing more crossbill sightings, more crested tits, adding red poles, wheatears, lots of cool birds to the list. But let's see if we can hold out for this bird. If we don't get it tonight, we'll come back tomorrow, and maybe a third time if we're still unlucky. I've just spoken to some other birders as well. They've been here all afternoon and they've not seen it. So I guess that means chances are fairly low, but we'll do our best. So this place is just fantastic for birds of prey. Had kestrels, red kites, this buzzard hovering here. It's just brilliant, and it's such a picturesque space as well. It's a real privilege to be here. Well, I think we've given this a good shot. We've been here now for just over an hour. As I say, we are going to come back here, but golden eagle is currently not on the list. So this morning we're here at a place just by Inverness, a little woodland area, looking for a wildlifer for me. This is a vagrant red-breasted flycatcher, and what's more exciting is a minute ago it was singing above our heads. So it's directly above our heads now and it keeps singing. I've just had a brief glimpse at it, which is fantastic. So I've got it for the year. I'm gonna get the camera out now, see if I can get a video, but it's just so high up, like right above us. That might be really tricky and there's so much foliage in the way, but it keeps on flitting about. It just suddenly stopped singing now. But it's a brilliant song. I might even be able to see a bit of movement just up here. Just heard it. So the camera is really struggling in the poor light, but I think, there it goes again. I think I've just got a sort of average video of it, which I'll put up on the screen, or would have probably put on the screen already. But this, a wildlifer for me, a rare vagrant in Scotland. I almost consider this as a bonus bird. You know, it's not one of the birds that when I booked this trip I was thinking that I'd even have a chance of going for. Yeah, it's just such an incredible feeling to see this bird. It's definitely one of the highlights of the trip. Probably not overtaking the ptarmigan, because the ptarmigan was amazing, but yeah, I'm absolutely over the moon with this one. This is brilliant, and it's been really easy as well. We've just wandered into the forest. We've been here about 15 minutes. It's been singing almost constantly, and you know, we've had quite a few sightings. Originally it was right at the top of the canopy, and then it's sort of come midway up the tree height for us to get some splendid views. So what a bird, another one on the list. This trip really is going very well. So we just pulled over on the side of the road. It's a little bit windy, and just up here there's a red kite, a buzzard and a golden eagle. Golden eagle's carrying a hare. I just saw it briefly as it flew off into the distance over that brow, but that is Scotland's most iconic bird on the list. Fantastic. Pretty much just did an emergency stop then before we stopped the car. I'm just so excited to see this bird carrying a hare. I really thought after all that time looking for it before that we'd missed this bird. So to get it on the list now is just absolutely, I can't believe it. I really can't. That's spent a long time looking for this thing, and it's and we've done it. So this golden eagle, sorry, I'll just shout behind the car, this golden eagle has just flown right over our heads. It's absolutely amazing. It's probably the best view of golden eagle I've ever had. He's just still above us at the moment, and he's just been sort of circling round, just chilling, just doing his thing. What an amazing thing to see. That is just, honestly, words, I have no words to explain how this makes me feel. It's just bloody brilliant. Really cool. What a magnificent bird. So I've come out at another spot this morning, and we've just had two relatively suspicious crossbills in the site that we're in, and I've got some audio recordings of them in flight. So, and I have also heard that this is a good place for Scottish crossbill, so I've just sent it off to a friend of mine, and we'll hopefully get the analysis of that later on. So we've just had amazing views of some sort of crossbill, which I think could be a candidate for Scottish crossbill. We've got as many audio recordings as we can. I've sent a few off already, unfortunately they've been inconclusive, but I think we've got some even better ones. So I'll update at the end of this video whether any of them were good enough to be able to determine whether this is common crossbill or Scottish crossbill. But either way, this is the best views of crossbills I've ever had. So we've just pulled over on the side of the road looking for something that very few people have ever seen before. Can't find it at the moment, but we're hoping to see the Loch Ness Monster. No, pretty sure I can't find it. So we're now here in a place called Ruthven Nature Reserve, which has got a nice lock on it, and I'm hoping to see a few interesting birds here. So let's see what we can find. So this looks like quite a small loch, quite high up in the mountains too. It seems like a really pretty place. It's another RSPB reserve, and I just thought, well, we're not going to spend long here, but as we're kind of nearby, I thought it'd be worth checking out. So there's two birds I'd quite like to see. One I've seen already, which is Slavonian grebe, which was on the boards, and I've never seen them in breeding plumage, so that would be amazing to see. The other bird is actually a year tick. I still haven't, surprisingly, got osprey, and it seems like they're fairly regularly reported here. However, I've just spoken to a guy who's just left here, and he's been here for some time, and he's not had any osprey. So I just heard a call, and just up here there's an osprey. Amazing. He's just sort of hovering at the moment. I feel like he's going to dive. Come on, do a dive for me. I feel like he's thinking about it. So that osprey puts me on 258 species. That's not actually including the crossbill at the moment. And I just think that's a really quite a large number for this time of year. We're still in June, still in mid-June, and it's definitely going to get a lot harder from here. But I'm still really happy that I've got osprey, and to see it just hovering above our heads like that, it's just incredible. So the last birding day of this trip before we drive home. Now our first stop is the Two Lochs Trail here in Loch Garten, and we've come here for another attempt at crossbills. We're still waiting the review of the crossbills that we had yesterday, which I'm hoping will be Scottish crossbill. But just in case, we thought we'd come out and try and get some more sound recordings to add more evidence to trying to find this particularly difficult to identify species. So here we go. Wow, this place is stunning. Absolutely beautiful here in this early morning. Well, that's enough admiring lochs. We've got some crossbills to find. Well, we've almost done this loop walk this morning and haven't had any crossbills. It started to rain, so we're just going to head back fairly shortly. So we've just had a group of crossbills fly over with that flight call we're looking for. Unfortunately, we didn't have the audio recorder. They briefly landed in this tree up here and then they went without calling. So haven't got any audio files of those birds, but we did at least hear the flight calls that we've been targeting. Well, no sonograms of crossbills recorded on this little adventure, but we have still got quite a few targets to do on this last day. So keep watching to see how we get on with those. So we're now here in a place called Loch Ruthven. And the reason why we're here is because we're looking for a rare American gull. There hasn't been any recent sightings of this bird, but it has been quite a long staying bird, and I'm not sure how many people come here. So unfortunately the rain's going to be a bit of a problem, and it could be at distance, but I've got the scope. We'll scan across the loch and see if we can find this rare American gull. Well, the weather's pretty terrible, and I do want to allow time for our next stop. So I think we're going to call this quits. As I say, this bird hasn't been seen for some time, reported for some time. So I think it's best that we spend most of our time trying to re-find that white-winged scoter that we missed at the beginning of the trip. So I have to say, on this trip, we've been extraordinarily lucky with the weather, but this time it's absolutely heaving it down. And scoping for a white-winged scoter that we've already missed and hasn't been seen for 4 days might be a challenge. It's a challenge that we're going to take on. Right, so we're pulling into the stop now. I've just looked as we've been driving up. There's a lot of eider ducks out there, and that's what the scoter's been hanging around with. So we're going to have a little look. This is the last bird we are targeting on this trip. So fingers crossed we can get it. Well, it's raining and I've got the bird. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I've got the white-winged scoter right here. Oh, I've got it. It's got a little 6 on its eye. Drake. White wing. Oh, that's amazing. A world lifer. The last bird that we're going for as well. We've got it. And still waiting on the verdict of the Crossbill too, which hopefully I'll get tonight and update at the end of this video. But yes, that's another one. Absolutely fantastic. Now I'm going to go in the dry because it's absolutely soaking wet. So that's 9 birds added on this trip, and I'm still awaiting the diagnosis on the Crossbill. I've sent it off to a few experts, someone who wrote a white paper on crossbills and also the local eBird reviewer. I've heard back from one of them. It's definitely good news, but I will wait till I've got the final conclusion on that and reveal that at the end of the video. Yeah, fantastic. 9 birds, potentially 10 birds added to the year list. I've had 3 lifers, or is it 4? Lots of lifers, which is even better. And what a trip it has been. That's 260 species I'm on now, and it's not, what date are we on? It's the 19th of June. 260 species by the 19th of June. I've also risen up the eBird rankings to 5th, back to 5th from 6th, and yeah, things are going very, very well. So this is going to be a really tough question that I've been thinking about. I haven't actually decided. I'm going to decide on the spot now, but bird of the trip. Ptarmigan was really good. The red-breasted flycatcher was really good. The white-winged scoter's been amazing. Obviously, still unsure about the crossbill. It's a bit like a VAR review on that one. Yeah, there's been lots of birds. Crested tit, the views of that were absolutely spectacular. But I think I'm going to have to go for the bird I most wanted on this trip, which was ptarmigan. So ptarmigan is my bird of the trip. Right, so I've just got an email from the eBird reviewer on Scottish Crossbill, which is in conjunction with a guy who's written a white paper on Crossbill, so I'm just going to open it up now. So this is a big moment, because it's been a lifetime ambition for me to get Scottish Crossbill, not Parrot Crossbill. The reason being it's the only British endemic left, until they merge it, of course, which may happen in the future. But anyway, forget that. Right, okay, thank you for the emails. The recording you have made, in my opinion, is fine for Scottish Crossbill. Excitement call! I've attached the diagram. You can see it's almost an exact match to N20, sorry, excitement call. If you change the species on your checklist to Scottish Crossbill, I can accept it through eBird. Excellent news! Excellent news! Scottish Crossbill is on the list. It's the only British endemic, and it appears that we have a conclusion. Honestly, I am so excited about this. I knew it was going to be a long shot. I really did, but yeah, it appears that it's going to get accepted. Fantastic. Well, what a bit of news to end this brilliant video in. It's been an epic trip, the biggest trip of the year so far. There is going to be some bigger trips coming, but this is the biggest one so far. And I hope you enjoyed watching it. So thank you very much for watching. And if you liked this video, please like and subscribe. Cheers. Bye.